Hold on one second. Okay, got it. Today is July 16th of Let's Talk About Culture, and we are on Chapter 6 of our book that we are reading together. And we have a special presentation for you today. We have some volunteers. I'm so excited about them. I also wanted to share our norms, but I want to welcome my co-host today, Mr. Tim Nightingale. And I wanted to share that I always talk about what Let's Talk About Culture is and what it is not. So what it is a deeper dive, sharpen your tools, extend your learning. And what it is not a critique of the work. So we're not critiquing the work. We are just learning and just keeping our minds, our thoughts, our hearts in a diverse, capacity to learn as much as we can about others, and most importantly about ourselves and how we treat others. Before I begin, I do want to check in and see if Mr. Nightingale would like to say a few words before we start, and then we'll go into a skit that we have prepared for you.
Good evening. First of all, thank you for those who have volunteered. I'm really excited to hear what you're going to present. And then secondly, when we transition from the presentation, Kimberly and I spent about an hour organizing what we think is going to be really engaging conversation around how you respond to conflict. And we're actually going to use the ideas brought forward in this presentation into the role plays and break it up into groups and teach how, when you find yourself in conflict, you have options. And the option you choose can move that from a conflict to a solution. Sometimes it can do that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today after the presentation. So today's all really interconnected, and thank you for being here. And Kimberly and I are excited about it.
All right, so I've invited some special guests. If you can turn on your cameras for me, Truth, Mercy, Justice, and Peace. They're in their dressing rooms. All right. So I'm the convener, and as we get started here, we are reading. Oh my gosh, how awesome! This is how excited we are about our work. I'm going to start here. We will be reading to you, but we just ask that you take this time to reflect on what you've read, and we're going to have fun with it, okay? All right, I'm going to start. We have all experienced conflict, and the ways that people in conflict often appeal to truth, mercy, justice, and peace. Psalms 85:10 tell us, mercy and truth have met each other. Justice and peace have kissed. So I've done some thinking, and I wondered this: what if we invited our four friends, truth, mercy, justice, and peace, to join us? What if we asked them to openly discuss their views about conflict? I have seen them come and go in other fights, so I have invited them to come and clear up a few things. Welcome, truth, justice, mercy, and peace. We want to know what concerns you each have in the midst of conflict. May we hear your views? Truth, how about you first? Unmute yourself. That's okay, we were censoring you.
I am truth. I am like light that is cast so all may see. In times of conflict, I want to bring forward what really happened, putting it out in the open. I am set apart from my three colleagues: mercy, justice, and peace. Because they need me first and foremost. Without me, they cannot move forward. When I am found, I set people free.
Sister Truth, you know I have been around a lot of conflict. There is one thing I'm always curious about. When I talk to one side, like these people over here, they say that you are with them. When I talk to the other side, like our friends over there, they claim you are on their side. Is there only one truth?
There is only one truth, but I can be experienced in many different ways. I reside within each of you, yet nobody owns me.
If discovering you is crucial, why are you so hard to find?
I can only appear where the search is genuine and authentic. I come forward only when each person shares with others what they know of me, and when each one respects the other's voices.
Oh, wow. Of these three friends, mercy, justice, peace, whom do you fear the most?
Mercy. I fear mercy. In mercy's haste to heal, mercy covers my light and clouds my clarity. Mercy forgets that forgiveness is our child. Mercy's not alone.
Mercy. I am sure you have things to say. What concerns you?
Oh, my acting debut went down the drain. Okay, let me try again. I am Mercy. I am the new beginning for everybody. I am concerned with people and their relationships, acceptance, compassion, and support. Stand with me. I know the frailty of the human condition. Oh, what among them is perfect? She knows that her light can bring clarity, truth, but too often it can blind people and it can burn. What freedom is there without life and relationship? Forgiveness is indeed our child, truth, but not when people are arrogantly clubbed into humiliation and agony by their imperfections and their weaknesses. You know, our child forgiveness has birthed to provide healing.
But Brother Mercy, Sister Mercy, in your rush to accept support and move ahead, do you not abort the child forgiveness?
Oh, I do not cover up truth's light. You must understand, I am mercy. I am built of steadfast love that supports life itself.
Oh, wow. And whom do you fear the most?
Justice. In the haste to change and make things always right, they forget the roots lie in real people and real relationships.
Sister Justice, what do you have to say?
I am Justice. Mercy is correct. I am concerned about making things right. I look beneath the surface and behind the issues about which people seem to fight. The roots of most conflicts are tangled in equality and greed and wrongdoing. I stand with truth. Who sheds her light to expose the paths of wrongdoing? My task is to make sure that something is done to repair the damage wrecked, especially on the victims and the downtrodden.
But Brother Justice, everybody in the room feels they have been wronged. Most are willing to justify their actions, even violent deeds, as doing your bidding. Is this not true?
It is indeed. Most do not understand. You see, I am most concerned about accountability. Often we think that anything and everything is acceptable. True and committed relationships have honest and accounting and steadfast love. Love without accountability is nothing but words. Love with accountability, now that's changed, and that's behavior, and by golly, that's action. My purpose is to bring action, accountability to these words.
Oh, wow. Then whom do you fear?
My children. I fear that my children, Mercy and Peace, see themselves as parents, yet they are actually fruit of my labor.
I am Peace, and I agree with all three of you. I am the child to whom they give birth, the mother who labors to give them life, and the spouse who accompanies them on the way. I hold the community together with the encouragement of security, respect, and well-being.
That is precisely the problem. You see yourself as greater and bigger than the rest of us.
Arrogance. You do not place yourself where you belong. You follow us. You do not precede us.
This is true, justice and truth. I am more fully expressed through and after you both. But it is also true that without me, there is no space cleared for truth to be heard. And without me, there is no way to break out of the vicious cycle of accusation, bitterness, and bloodshed. You yourself, Justice, cannot be fully embodied without my presence. And I am before and after. There is no other way to reach me. I myself am the way.
And whom do you fear?
Not whom, but what and when. I fear manipulation. I fear the manipulation of people using Sister Truth for their own purposes. Some ignore her, some use her as a whip, some claim to own her. I fear times when justice is sacrificed for the sake of for Sister Mercy. I fear the blind manipulation when some will sacrifice life itself in trying to reach the ideal of justice. When such trickery takes place, I am violated and left as an empty shell.
How would it be possible for you four to meet? What would you need from each other?
Mercy, you must slow down. Mercy, give me a chance to emerge. Our child cannot be born without the slow development in the womb of the mother.
Shine bright, Sister Truth. But please take care not to blind. Don't burn. Remember that each person is a unique child of God. Each person is weak and needs support to grow.
I have been partly reassured by the words of Sister Peace. I need a clear statement that she gives a place for accountability and action. I'm not backing down on that. Remember when Micah spoke of us? Love and mercy do justice. You, Peace, must allow room for me to move forward.
Sister Justice, we need one another. Don't fall into bitterness that rages without purpose. I will provide the soil for you to work and bear fruit.
And what is this place called where you stand together?
This
place
is
called
Reconcile.
reconciliation.
Reconciliation. Thank you. That is the end of our skit. Good job, you guys. All right, I'm going to turn this over. If you'd like to share any thoughts, we do have the chat open, but I'm going to give it over to Mr. Tim Nightingale. Thank you.
That was so well done. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We will have a time to chat even more about this, which is why I want to move through the presentation and get you all into your groups and then reporting back from your groups. So Kimberly and I designed this slideshow, and we decided to call it Understanding Intent. And this will make sense in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a possible conflict that you might come across if you work at a school or if you work in administration. So the topic may come up: what is the best use of resources? Should the focus be on underserved students, or should the focus be on every student? And so thinking about that and thinking about the different points of view that come across, it could happen between administration, or it could happen between teachers and administration. And the topic could become very difficult very quickly as people take on two different approaches. And people might say things like, we should treat all the kids the same. Or they might say things like, some students don't belong here, or the kids are not trying, or parents who do not support their child's learning. So we may hear different responses as we're talking through this conversation. And what we want to break you up into the groups to discuss is we're going to give each group one of these. And the question is, which one of these responses will transform that conflict? So imagine that you're in that room, this topic came up, the conversation is getting more and more difficult and more contentious. And in that moment, you can choose one of these four possible responses. So in that moment, you could dive deeper into a focus on what's fair, or you could focus on an unmerited extension of grace. You could focus on working together towards a common goal, or you could focus on bringing forward the most helpful information from each perspective. And we're even going to give a little sort of cheat sheet about how you could do that. You could ask a question like, how can we move towards an arrangement that is fair? You could say, tell me more about that. Maybe we can find some data. You could use mercy. You could say, I believe you're doing your best to treat all the kids the same. Tell me more about how you've seen that work. Or you could choose peace. You could say, okay, finding what is fair and true and being gracious along the way will help us work together. So imagine you're in that contentious situation, and you're going to pick one of these four ways when someone says, you know, we should treat all the kids the same. You're going to pick one of these four ways to calm that conflict down or find a way forward that's helpful. And if you want to take a picture of that screen, what we want to do is we want to give each group, I think we have instructions here. So each group will get one of the 4 responses. And we'll go back to that in a second, but these are the instructions. So each group will be given one of the 4 responses. And what you discuss within your group is, how could that response help steer the heated discussion towards a positive outcome? Do you think this response is the best option? And which of the 4 options do you think would carry the furthest weight? So, Kimberly, how do you're in charge of breaking up the rooms. You know what I think would be particularly cool? I don't know if you can do this, but if, you know, our 4 actors, if there was a room where justice, what got to be justice and truth got to be truth and got to lead this discussion. I don't know how the breakup works, but that'd be one simple way to do that. What do you think, Kimberly?
We can have 2 to a room.
Okay.
So we have, no, we're gonna have, we just lost somebody. So one room is gonna have 3.
Okay.
So Karis is Justice, so she's in room 3. So I have Justice in room 3. And then I have Rain. Rain is Mercy, so Mercy is in room 4. And then I have Mindy, who is Truth. She is in room 5. And then Peace. Did I just lose my Peace? Tanya's Peace. Oh,
She's
okay, I
here.
can move. Let me move Peace to here. Okay, I'm gonna move Peace to room 6.
Where do
And
we
then
pick up those classes at? In the chat?
Where do you pick up your what?
Class. Like, where do I pick up my group? In the chat?
Oh, I'm gonna send you to your group.
Okay.
How many do you want in a group, Mr. Nightingale?
Oh, just however many.
Do we want 2 to a group or 3 to a group?
Do we have that many?
Well, we just make it smaller.
We have 12 people. So 3 to each group, I think.
For some reason, I'll tell you guys, it's not gonna put me in the group.
Why don't we just kind of share the perspective, if those people can share the perspective of what they understand of each of the 4, if we solved a problem through their lens.
You mean just have one big group discussion?
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
separated all Mercy, Justice, Peace. So you'll get to practice with the person in your room, and we'll give you 12 minutes. And
then we'll come back and talk about it all together.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
see it from all of those perspectives. So many of us always see it from like cultural perspectives or demographics or income levels or all these different perspectives. But if we could see it from these 4 perspectives, then it will help us in problem solving. My hardest one happens to be the one that was assigned mercy. Sometimes I can't with people. I just can't. And so talking that through with Rashonda was productive.
That's awesome. Come on, who's next? Thank you guys for sharing.
I was with Indy and we just kind of talked about how sometimes our focus is on just one of the 4 aspects. And we think we're going at the right thing. We have the truth and this is it. I'm going to do whatever I need to do for it. But it really requires all 4. So if we're focusing on one, we're really letting the others go to the wayside and we're not getting a full perspective. So it was really, kind of powerful to think that 2 together can even bring manipulation versus what we think is, justice and greatness. But having all 4 is where we get that well-rounded kind of experience and can kind of do better work.
Thank you, Courtney. Go ahead, Mindy.
What Courtney said is I hadn't realized that peace is not holier than thou. Like at all costs, we need peace. We need all 4 perspectives to really have those together. So that's something that was like an aha, that when you add truth and mercy, you have forgiveness. But when you add mercy and justice, you could get manipulation, but you need all the perspectives to get true peace. And so that was powerful in our discussion and just talking through those, that we can't overweigh one perspective and let the others go to the wayside. So thank you, Courtney. It was a great joy to talk.
Awesome. Who's next? So we got Justice. No. Anyone share out from the other 2 groups?
I'll say just a little bit. One of the pieces that we really talked about is that word fair compared to equitable. And then Rochelle brought up the graphic that I think a lot of us have now seen with the 3 children behind the fence and students getting what they need. And it may not look fair to others, but it's equitable in getting what everyone needs to reach their highest potential. So that was a key point for one of the pieces that we talked about. And then for me, I was looking at like peace is really a strong piece, but I like how in this chapter, it really does talk about all 4 pieces are necessary and why we don't actually include all perspectives to make sure that we're getting the full picture. And that's what these 4, the justice, truth, mercy, and peace. I actually really like that. And the acting out today was really, really brought it home. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Thank you, Laura.
We had talked about peace, and we also talked about equity, and along with peace and working together as a community. So it has to reiterate what everyone else said, it has to include all 4 aspects. So, you have, like they said, peace, you have to start with peace, comes before and peace comes after, but everything is interconnected. So in order to work through, we all have to work as a community to work through a solution together. That's, one of the takeaways.
And I gotta learn how to put myself in a group, but I wanted to share something that I hear all of you guys saying, when I was going through a really deep conflict, this chapter helped me to see the just put on another lens that the other person has a truth too, where I thought it was just my truth, how I felt, and how I felt when that person did X, Y, and Z. But that person has a truth, so that is why we're bumping heads, because we both believe that something is wrong, you know. So I really, that part about where does it live? We both have truth. So it's just really changed how I just look at conflict in general. All right, Tim.
Yeah, thank you everyone for your participation in this activity, and I'm glad to hear that everyone enjoyed their discussion group so much. That's one of our objectives that Kimberly and I have been talking about, has been skills, but also just a chance to interact with people, practice those things, and then share out what's been really helpful. So as usual, I love these discussions because I always come away learning more, growing more, and I was really moved by many of the things that were said tonight. So I really appreciate that.
All right. So this is probably the first time we're closing on time. So we're gonna talk. We have 2 chapters left, believe it or not. Like, wow, it's already time. So our next chapters are 7 and 8, right? Thursday, again, we asked if you'd invite a friend, anyone who wants to learn with us. We're going to share an opportunity next week. If you're passionate about peacemaking, Tim's going to share an opportunity that if you want to engage in with us. So we have a treat for you as well, an opportunity to extend your learning in this area. Does anyone have any closing remarks or questions for clarity? We have a peacemaking guru on here, so ask if you would like.
Kimberly, I'm
Yes.
going to do something that's going to make you so uncomfortable. I'm so sorry to do this to you.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to totally appreciate you and just ask that everybody takes a moment and is just so grateful and thankful for you.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
Your brave leadership, for your innovative approaches, for your all-inclusive ways that that you teach and counsel and lead. I'm just so proud of you, and I want to take a moment to thank you.
Rain, I'm gonna kick your butt. Not literally. These are happy tears, you guys. You know, I really get joy. I feel joy, and it's just, you've propelled me. Now I'm going to do another book study. You know what I mean? But I thank you for championing this work with me, you guys, like, and giving your time, like, to do things where you could be on the couch watching The Real Housewives. You're here with me, you know? It brings joy. I look forward to Thursdays. So I appreciate you all. And Rain, when I see you and Corona's over, I'm going to hug you, girl. Thank you for that. I really, you just made my evening. So when I walk, every time I get so much energy from this, I take a walk. I do a mile walk afterwards. I have to, like, wow, you know, and I thank God for what he's doing in my life. And also, you know, walking, one, because the steps are ordered, you know, and I believe they are, and I am in a place of finding what God has next for me. So it sounds like I'm on the right path. So I appreciate you for sharing what's on your heart, because truly, this is my passion. Thank you guys for joining tonight. And I'm crying on here, so now we're family. Okay, so I really appreciate this time. We are closing our book study. And I just want to say, invite a friend. I always like to close with this because people are lonely right now. So reach out to someone, even if they don't want to get on, if they don't want to show their face, have them call in. We can be their family during this time. We can be their friend, because not having that sense of touch. I have kids. I have a dog. So I get I get that touch that we all need. So a phone call or something, it's very, very crucial at this time, for our kids and our adults. Okay. So thank you guys so much. I just love you all. I haven't even met everyone on here, honestly. So Courtney, thank you. I hope to meet you soon. And Mindy, I'm coming to Salt Lake City. And Rochelle, thank you guys for joining. And everyone who joined, I don't want to say, other people already know. They know I love them dearly. And if you have any ideas for future book studies or you want to collabo, let me know. Tamika and I will be doing something soon. I'm putting in an atmosphere. And I'm going to continue to work with Tim. He doesn't know it, but I'm his new family member. Yes, so enjoy your evening. Take a walk. Self-care is very important, and I appreciate you. If you have any questions, email me. And Thursday, I will see you. All right, we got 2 more studies left. Bye. Have a good evening. Tim, I'll stay on with you so we can recap.